An emotional day in court as a man is sentenced for his role in the shooting death of an Army veteran.
A Central Kentucky ambulance service could be at risk if a tax increase is not approved.
A Kentucky mom starts a one-of-a-kind basketball camp.
This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening to you. An emotional day in court as a man was sentenced for his role in a shooting death of an Army veteran.
Ryan Denholm pled guilty to giving a gun to his brother used to kill Zachary Flower back in November of 2011. Today, Denholm spoke directly to the Flower family. Andrea Walker was in court and has more in our top story at 5:30.
Ryan Denholm received a 15-year sentence this afternoon for his role in the death of Army veteran Zachary Flower. Ryan pleaded guilty to providing the gun his brother Matthew Denholm used to kill Flower in November of 2011. Denholm's attorney requested probation for his client. The judge denied that request.
I'm persuaded by the argument of the Commonwealth that to probate this matter would appreciate the seriousness of this offense.
Denholm's attorney says Ryan wishes that day never happened, but through heartfelt testimony by Zachary's family and friends, they made sure that he knows that it did, and they have to live with what happened that day forever.
Praying to the Lord in the murder of an exceptional young man.
This grueling trial has exhausted us all of most of our energy, but we will never give up. I will spend the rest of my life making sure that that is never forgotten.
In a surprising move, Denholm chose to address the family with no prior warning to his attorneys.
I want you to know the echoes of the fact that I feel. But believe all that your son will be with you.
In the end, the Flower family did what many would consider unthinkable.
Ryan, not from words from my mouth, but from inside, I forgive you.
Denholm is still eligible for parole. In Madison County, Andrea Walker, WKYT.
Ryan's brother Matthew Denholm is serving 3 life sentences for the murders of Zachary Flower, along with 2 unrelated murders back in 2014.
We are following breaking news right now out of Louisville. Crews have found a body in the rubble of a building collapse there. The front of the building, as you can see here, collapsed just before 4 at 28th Street and Grand Avenue. We will continue to follow the story, and we will have more for you coming up tonight at 11.
It's turning into a stormy evening for many areas of the Bluegrass State.
These storms look to be a sign of some things to come maybe for us. Here with more is WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Yeah, thunderstorms with a lot of lightning and a ton of heavy rain, and that local flash flood threat continues over the next few hours into parts of the area. Busy Defender radar network, and now we're getting some of those thunderstorms to blow up into parts of the Bluegrass region. Let's take you into the east, and from Paintsville, Prestonsburg, back through the Salyersville area, right on top of the Mountain Parkway, and north now, 460, heading toward West Liberty. And look at that little thunderstorm not too far away from Hazel Green, just off the Mountain Parkway. That extends through the West Liberty area, over towards Zag, Wrigley there along Route 7, and then we jump into the I-64 corridor. And these storms are very slow movers, so heavy rainfall is a good possibility from Mount Sterling down toward the Camargo area, Jeffersonville, picking up on some very heavy rains, the upper Spencer area over toward Owingsville, Olympia, Salt Lick, and toward the Cave Run Lake area, and right on top of Moorhead, picking up on a ton of rain as well. To the north of that, thunder and lightning beginning to wane just a little bit, though. Look what's developing. Bourbon County, thunderstorm. It is potent, it's small, but it is growing right now, and that has a lot of very heavy rains with additional thunder and lightning trying to pop here in the northern parts of Harrison County. Bluegrass region, okay for now, but again, thunderstorms beginning to pop across the entire area. A lot of lightning and a lot of heavy rain. Up in about 5 minutes or so, we'll show you how this is a sign of what's to come.
Chris, thank you. It has been a tough month for first responders in one county. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Boyle County. Since late June, 5 people have died in car crashes in Boyle County. The emergency management director says many of the first responders are volunteers and need a pat on the back for their hard work and many times their thankless work.
So many of them are volunteers. They have to take their vacation to get training, but none of them ever seem to mind it at all. And they've had to work under very adverse circumstances lately. The situation that we had yesterday with the triple fatality just really brings it home.
The 3 people killed and that person injured in Thursday's crash were all from Mercer County. Deputies in Whitley County are searching for a suspect who stole an SUV from a car dealership near Corbin. Police say 30-year-old Laurel Cawley of Nancy took a black 2005 Chevy Equinox for a test drive at Cumberland Falls Auto and never came back. The vehicle that Cawley left at the dealership was also reported stolen from Pulaski County on July 12th. The Equinox had a Kentucky license plate X7509B. In Jackson County, state police are now investigating fraud allegations within the county government there. Judge Executive Shane Gabbard told WYMT TV that possible fraud was reported to the fiscal court. The county attorney was notified and the findings were turned over to state police. During a specially called fiscal court meeting today, Gabbard says County Treasurer Beth Sallee was suspended with pay pending the outcome of the investigation. Gabbard says he believes only one person is involved in the fraud allegations.
The emergency manager in one central Kentucky county says that without a tax increase, the local ambulance service will be forced to shut down. Phil Pendleton reports now from Lincoln County.
It's something you never want, but you always hope one is close by if you need it. But in Lincoln County,
I think we're in a failing system, and I think over time we're going to lose more services.
the EMS service needs more money to the tune of more than $600,000 a year. Officials say local taxpayers have not been asked to shell out more money in their tax bills in quite some time.
Out of 33 taxing districts of ambulance services in the state of Kentucky, we are the 28th lowest, at the bottom.
The ambulance board has a meeting set for 7 o'clock Monday night. At that time, the recommendation will be to increase the current tax of 4.8 cents to about 10 cents for every $100 of assessed property, meaning people with $100,000 homes will pay about $50 more a year. If nothing is done and no more money comes in,
there is that risk and chance and possibility that we all, as EMS providers in this county, due to lack of funding, fail to be able to provide the service needed for the community.
And if that happens, the county's government would literally have to set up an emergency service.
Yeah, we do provide a critical service. Our call volume last year in this county was about 4,500 calls.
Some officials say Lincoln County should mirror a similar consolidated service in Boyle County, but communities would still like individual stations that currently exist in Stanford, Waynesburg, and Crab Orchard. In Lincoln County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
And the meeting Monday night is open to the public and will take place on the second floor of the Lincoln County Courthouse. Nothing says summer like going to camp.
And throw in basketball, and you have a true Kentucky tradition. Our Jim Caldwell introduces us to a brand new summer camp that's one of a kind.
A horse farm. Not exactly a place you'd expect a basketball camp to be, but that's been the case this week at WinStar. It's a brand new camp and maybe one of a kind. Elizabeth Jensen searched and searched for a basketball camp for her son.
And we looked everywhere, and there isn't anywhere for just about any amount of money a basketball camp for kids with special needs.
So she started one herself.
Many years ago, worked here at WinStar Farm, and I knew they had this beautiful basketball facility, and I asked them if they would consider hosting a basketball camp this summer, and they said they would love to.
And it has been a hit with the campers.
But it's fun. It's been fun.
These athletes have been working hard all week.
We've been practicing basketball skills and learning how to work as a team.
Lessons they learn on the court, and some for just hanging out with new friends. But it hasn't all been about basketball. After all, we are on a horse farm.
I got to meet Malcolm Farrell's dad yesterday.
1, 2, 3, fire tiger!
Practice has been the name of the game so far, and it's all been leading up to this moment where the Fire Tigers and the Dribbling Dolphins square off. And no matter the final score, everyone wins here today. In Woodford County, I'm WKYT meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
And that looks like a lot of fun. By the way, they're looking to make this an annual summer camp and hope that it continues to grow.
You may have noticed that real estate is on the rise in Lexington as far as sales. That story coming up at 6 on WKYT.
I'm Bill Bryant. Donald Trump accepts the Republican presidential nomination, and now Hillary Clinton and the Democrats get ready to make their case. And the state justice secretary acknowledges Kentucky is losing a war on drugs. The bottom line is ahead.
Donald Trump making his case for why he should be the next president of the United States.
And Kentucky's Justice and Safety Secretary wants the state to ramp up its fight against substance abuse. Bill Bryant has more in the bottom line.
Good evening. Donald Trump is hoping for a bump in the polls after accepting the nomination at the Republican National Convention. It comes as Hillary Clinton chooses her running mate and gets set for the Democratic National Convention next week. In a 75-minute speech, Trump laid out his plans for the country and said he would make America safe again. Trump also used his speech to question Hillary Clinton's judgment. He was introduced by his daughter Ivanka, who portrayed her father as tolerant and forward-thinking. Kentucky Republicans, including longtime Congressman Hal Rogers, predicted the party will unite behind Trump in the fall. Democrat Hillary Clinton responded to Trump's speech with tweets last night, including one saying, "We're better than this." The Democratic National Convention will be meeting next week in Philadelphia. Kentucky Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes has been confirmed as a convention speaker. She is set to be at the podium on Thursday, the same day that Clinton will give her acceptance speech. Grimes and Clinton have campaigned for each other in recent years. Kentucky's Justice Secretary says the challenges with drug addiction are a scourge in the Commonwealth. He acknowledges that law enforcement is not winning the war on drugs here in Kentucky. Justice and Safety Secretary John Tilley says Kentucky has to step up treatment efforts and find other ways to keep people from wanting substances that they don't need and that can ruin their lives and that of their families. He also says jails and prisons are full.
Well, it's a problem all over our state. Right now, Bill, the sad part and really the reality is that every jail where we house state prisoners in every state prison is at capacity or above. We have no more room at the end. We don't have an available bed anywhere. Louisville is acutely overcrowded, as are so many of our counties that house state prisoners across our Commonwealth. And so right now we have close to 23,500 state prisoners, and that doesn't include county inmates.
Tilley's comments come from Kentucky newsmakers. You can see my entire interview Sunday morning at 6 on WKYT or Sunday at 10 a.m. on the CW Lexington. Set your DVR or catch it then. We'll also have some excerpts on our weekend morning news. Former Ku Klux Klan leader David Duke plans to run for the U.S. Senate in Louisiana. Duke's announcement came today. Duke is a registered Republican, and he is hoping to fill the seat vacated by Republican Senator David Vitter. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
More people in Fayette County are taking their first step into home ownership. According to Business Lexington, low mortgage rates and signs of a strengthening economy have home buyers moving quick to pick up properties.
Sellers traditionally in this kind of market should have more of a power than a buyer would. But right now it's a pretty good equilibrium. I mean, prices aren't going through the roof and buyers are still getting pretty good, decent deals, especially with the interest rates where they are.
The increase is especially true among first-time buyers looking for homes under the $200,000 mark.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Thunderstorms fighting it out with the heat and winning the battle out there again today for many of us across central and eastern Kentucky. Cannot call today hot. We are only in the 80s for many of us. Let's jump into it, show you what is going on right now. 9 live sky cams. Check out that Moorhead cam right on top of the interstate there, dealing with some heavier rains, a lot of thunder and lightning. Lexington Metro, we are oh so close now to some stronger thunderstorms that are just to our east. Defender radar network and 2 big complexes of thunderstorms, one to the southeast of Bowling Green, another showing up east of the Lexington metro area and right on top of the Mountain Parkway and north especially. We're seeing some very heavy rains from the Big Sandy Valley through the Licking River Valley, Salyersville, up into West Liberty, Candle City, and toward Hazel Green with some very heavy rains on the Mountain Parkway. That extends to the north now toward Cave Run Lake. Folks around Moorhead, boy, we've been pounded for the better part of the past couple or 3 hours with some very heavy rains, almost nonstop thunder. for the past few hours as well. And the worst of the weather is now just to the south of Moorhead, south of the Salt Lick and Owingsville area. Folks in Preston here along 965, very heavy rain. The heaviest rain now creeping into parts of Menifee County and southern parts of Montgomery County. From the Mount Sterling area along 460 through Camargo, Jeffersonville, torrential downpours. That also gets very close to Stanton and Clay City on the Mountain Parkway, and that is rolling into Powell County right now. Powell County, get ready for a lot of thunder and lightning. Clark County, how about Winchester, just to the east of the downtown area? A little thunderstorm into Paris is now scooting into parts of Clark County. Lexington, Georgetown, Nicholasville, Versailles, hello Lawrenceburg and Frankfort. Not a whole lot right now, but it is very, very close to us. We'll watch this little cell southwest of Danville trying to flare up as well. May get some thunder and lightning with that one. Flash flooding ongoing with this thunderstorm to the southeast of Bowling Green. This is what we're dealing with. This is what we've talked about for a while with these thunderstorms that can put down some very heavy rains. Still on the steamy side through the weekend, but downpours are possible, and that would carry us into Monday as well. So any storm that is out there can pack a punch. Put this map together on Monday. I'm going to keep using it today. Why? Because the core of the heat is staying to our west as we expected. We are just getting in on a typical brand of July thermometers across central and eastern Kentucky. No other way around it. You get some thunderstorms on the eastern side of a big heat ridge like that, and that's what's happening here in Kentucky. And the heat has underperformed across the Ohio Valley over the past few days. And over the next few days, yes, tomorrow or Sunday, you get some sun, you can hit 90, 91, 92. But that's, again, every summer around here. In middle and end of next week, really stormy as thermometers start to come down into the normal mid to upper 80s. Storm threat out there this evening, especially east of Lexington.
Not a lot of variety there on the old 7-day forecast, huh?
It is not the spice of our weather lives.
Indeed, you're right, Chris. Thank you.
Kentucky football getting a boost with a new football training facility located right next to Commonwealth Stadium. This afternoon, the media getting a tour. Lee K. Howard gives us a look.
We are outside the new state-of-the-art UK football training facility, and I tell you, this is the most impressive building I've seen on this campus in quite some time. They've put a lot of thought, a lot of hard work, and a lot of money into this facility. $45 million, 100,000 square feet. You can see the new practice facilities to my left, the new weight room and building to my right. And the media got the tour this afternoon, got to walk around this entire building. But yesterday, the players had the first chance to walk around their new home, so to speak. And every single player had the same thing to say about the new UK football training facility.
Thursday kind of gave them a little pep in their step to see what's coming, you know, because we knew you guys were coming. And if you guys saw it before they did, that wouldn't have been fair to them because this is their building. Coach Stoops wanted them to see it. But come August 4th, they're going to see a lot of other things in here. Their lockers will be decked out, and they'll be living this thing every day, and it'll give them a little pep going into 2 days.
So when you look around the new UK training facility, it is just unbelievable. Just outside of Commonwealth Stadium, it will be the new home for the Wildcats for many, many years to come, and it rivals other schools in the SEC, other schools in the entire college football landscape, and of course, it even rivals some NFL teams, just the facilities and the money and the detail that they've put into this here on the UK campus. Reporting from the new UK training facility outside of Commonwealth Stadium, Lee K. Howard, WKYT.
And now on WKYT.com, we have a 360-degree look inside the new training center. There are 7 interactive pictures to give you an up-close look at the new facility. Mark Stoops and his coaches move in on Monday. The Cats will be in the new facility when they report for practice on August 4th. You know, earlier this week, we heard Tim Couch call quarterback Drew Barker the key to the upcoming season. Well, Mark Stoops talked about Barker and his offense when he appeared yesterday at Rotary.
I really feel good about the offense. It'll be important to see how Drew Barker plays. We all know we need to play good at quarterback. There's no getting around it. In any league in football, you go as the quarterback goes. And I am excited for Drew. Drew has made monumental gains off the field. He's handling his business. He's doing fantastic in school. He's handling himself socially, and I've been proud of him. I've been proud of the work that he's done.
Kendra Harrison sets a world record. That's in the next half hour. Stay with us.